Hey guys, let's talk about public transportation. 5 ways to move across Chicago via the public transport system. Who am I? Well, I'm Patrick Henning. I'm the CEO of Orukka. Sorry, it's a bit windy over here, as you can tell. I'm the CEO of Orukka. Orukka is a smart payment ring that allows you tap to pay wherever you are. Okay. We came up with this idea when one of my friends came to visit me in London. And then he came out of the London Underground back then. And then he got stabbed, coming out of the train station. So someone was going to go for his phone. They tried to grab his phone and wallet and run off. And then clearly, he tried to fight back and got stabbed. He narrowly missed his lungs, what he could have. So we got away with it. Okay. That got me thinking on how we can just avoid our phones, how we can stop relying on our phones and wallets, okay, especially in public, especially in a crowded city. Okay. And I came up with this idea of just tapping into the ring. No need for phones, wallets being around. No need for batteries, and it's taken straightforward. But one of my customers came up the other day as well and went, "Hey, thanks for this idea. I use it for train tickets." And then I came up with my idea. I'm like, "Hey, I should have a video for this so that people know about this as well." Okay, so let's talk about Chicago. Okay, so Chicago, I think as a city, there are about 2.7 million people. That's a lot of people. 2.7 million. If everyone had to get on the road and drive, imagine how much. Like if you think there's traffic right now, imagine how much traffic there's going to be if everyone got on the road and started driving. That's why public transports are important. Okay, especially if you're visiting the city, I recommend it. If you're there 247 and you walk, okay, from A to B, the best way possible, especially if you want to do something for your city, is to take the public transport. Okay, you're contributing to the city as well, one way or the other, in your little way, like your phone. So that's where that the idea comes in, okay, and how that you go around the city. So there are quite a few places. I think the CTA in Chicago is called the L. Okay, so it's big. Okay, it's the rapid transit. It's huge. There's also the CTA buses as well, which you can go around in. So you have the L, you have the buses as well, and there's also the Metro commuter rail. Okay, that those actually serve the suburbs. They also serve the city as well. And then lastly, we have the Pace Suburban. Okay, the Pace Suburban goes from links from CTA down to Metro. Again, these things might have changed, okay, but I was there a couple of weeks ago, so I can tell you that's what I know. Okay. Now, the advantage then is you can pay for these things through different ways. Okay, so I'm going to go through 5 ways you can pay. Okay, for your public transport. I'll start from the my least favorite, to the best. Okay, we'll start with the least favorite, which is obviously cash. People say cash is king, but I think it's inconvenient. Okay, again, not only because I'm a fintech, bro. I like to promote. I like convenience. I like things being done on the app. The advantage I think I would say with cash is that people, if you don't have a bank account, you can use cash. If you don't want the government to know where you are, you can use cash as well. If you don't want people to track where you are, you can use cash. So that's where the advantage comes in. But the disadvantage of that now becomes that you need to make sure you pay the exact amount wherever you are. Okay. In fact, so the CTA, I think the buses would accept cash. Some buses would, but it has to be the exact change. Trains don't even accept it, so just forget that. But the buses would accept that. So make sure you have the exact change. Convenience-wise as well, make sure you've counted your money before you get there. What you don't want to do is show up there with with a purse, and then you count all the cash. There'll be a queue of people behind you already. So make sure people that have rings and can just tap to pay, or someone that has their phone and can just double click, triple click. Don't know what you guys do. Triple click to pay. Okay, and make sure to select the right card as well. But it's a lot quicker these days compared to cash. So make sure you have your cash, and then you can tap to pay wherever you are. Cash as well, you can also use it for rail stations. So if you're a rail station, you want to top up your cards, and you can do that. Okay. Speaking of cards, I think there's in Chicago, you guys have what's called the Ventra. So the Ventra card allows you to use your card to use across CTA in general. So it's handy to use, especially if you can top it up as well with cash. You can top it up with cards. You can use that on a weekly schedule as well. You can also set up automatic top-ups as well. So that's handy, especially if you're going across different zones. The only downside, I think, is the top-up amount. So you need to buy the card. Okay, you're buying the card for at least $5, which is where you lose some money. If you register, so if you pay, to me I call it, if you sell your private data. If you register for it, then you can get the cash back. But that's you selling something. So I wouldn't recommend it. Just pay your $5, and when you're ready, you apply for a refund. Okay, when you want to. But that's something to watch out for. On the other hand, I think the Ventra is cool because again there are limits. Okay, but there's also a Ventra app which you can download on your phone, and then you can tap to pay as well. Okay, so wherever you go with your card, you can go into the train station, you tap before you get into the train, and then on your way out, you tap as well, so they can calculate your transport journey and where you went from A to B. Okay, so that's important. And then the other thing I think worth noting about then is the fact that you can also use your bank card. Okay, so again, as long as your bank card has this, which is 90% of banks, if not, come join us. Or I'll tell you which bank to use. Okay, but most banks would have this symbol. Okay, so this symbol is what you can use to actually tap to make payments. Okay, as long as it has there, just bring out your card, tap it on the turnstile, and go in and out. Yes, the only issue though, you need to tap the same card. So if you have this purple card, make sure you tap the same card. You don't want to go tap another card. For instance, if you tap this one, straight away you'll be charged twice because it's seen as two different cards. That's something that happens a lot more than you can think. I know for me as well, I did this a lot when I go into the train station. I go with one card and then I forget after 40 minutes what card it was, right? And I go into trouble on that one. And I kept losing and losing and losing money there. So that's something to watch out for. I think you can apply for a discount, but it's convoluted. It's almost like they don't want you to do that. Okay, so that's something. Please speak to one card and go with that. If you go with that, then you're fine. And then as it stands, your card, the Ventra card, you can only use it for train station. Okay, and that's the downside. Well, your bank card, you can use that everywhere. Okay, you don't. It's already your bank card. You're using your bank. Okay, it's your bank. You're using it. So what that means then is you don't have to worry. Okay, about connection. You don't have to worry about leaving money on Ventra because Ventra, if you leave money on it, if you don't use everything, it's a pain to withdraw that money back. It's a pain to actually get a refund. But with this, you can tap up, tap wherever if you have a prepaid card, you can top up as well and use your card. Okay, so that's something that I think I would recommend the card over the Ventra card. Just use a bank card. Okay, your bank would again you can see the transactions if you chose to. But the risk is this wallet. Okay, so I've got 12 cards in here, which is a lot. Okay, imagine walking around the underground with this city of 2 point something million people, and that's just the city. Okay, on the outskirts, I think it goes up to 9 million people across the metropolitan area, which is huge. Okay, so that's 9 million people in and out. So there's obviously going to be good and bad people there, and the bad people, guess what? They will steal these wallets. So that's the risk of going around with your bank card and wallet. Okay, I wouldn't recommend that, especially in a crowded city, especially if you're going to work where people can pickpocket you, or people could go in with a card schema, put this against your card and just take $10, $20 at a time, and you don't realize it. That's why I wouldn't recommend that. The other side then becomes your phone, right? So these 12 things can live on your phone. So you can have your phone which has 12 cards in it. That's another advantage, which is cool. So again, similar with the card, you can tap with your card to receive money, to make payments and get into the train. On the way out, you can tap as well and you leave. Handy, really cool. Here's the downside with that though. The battery has to be full. If you run out of battery, I mean, I can tell you I'm recording this now and I only have about 10% left on the phone. On my phone here, I've got 15% battery left. Batteries go these days a lot, okay? Especially if you're going to work and for some reason you don't have a charger at work, which again, you don't want to have to walk around that way. If you're a tourist, it's even worse. You don't have your battery. So to avoid that, you don't want to rely on your phone and you don't want to rely on your watch. And that's where we come in, okay? So we come in here because, again, these things don't have batteries. They're more stylish than your Apple Watch, I can tell you. Again, you can wear this as a wedding ring. This is white, black. We also have the silver, we have the gold, okay? The difference between them is this is my business ring. So I use this to go into my office. I use this to go into open my car. I use this to open the door. So I have a lot more things I do with my fingers, okay? So not just not needing your phone, you also might not need your wallet with us. And you might not need to go around with your keys, especially if you have an electric car and have a smart lock. Yeah, so just check us out, okay? You can, again, with this, similar to your phone, similar to your bank card, you can just tap, hold your knuckle this way, tap to pay, tap to move on, okay? The downside now becomes, can it be stolen? Yes. So actually, before someone steals this, they would have stolen your phone and wallet. These are the first things they go for. Because it takes a while to remove this, no thief wants to go near that. Thieves are opportunistic. They want to steal and go, okay? So that's something to watch out for. Public transport, the phone, your wallet is more at risk than the ring. But if someone was going to steal this, you can block it immediately on your phone. Okay, it takes 1 second. Or you can log into someone's phone and block it, and then that's it. Oh, and because it's contactless, you can't steal too much, if that makes sense. It's contactless, it's prepaid. That means you're only limited by the amount you've put on the ring. So that's something I do as well. I see a lot of my customers as well. They top up the ring and then use it weekly automatically for their transport, for their trains, for their food, for their lunch or work. And they use it day to day without needing their phone or wallet. So I'm going to put a link on how to download the ring, and how to download it. If you wanted to go to Venture Card, I'm going to put a link to the Venture Card as well. Otherwise, get our ring, the Orukka ring, orukka.com. Talk to you in the next one. Bye.